Welcome in, guys. In this past week we had the NFL 2022 schedule, and we're getting closer and closer to the regular season happening. Cannot wait in a few months. We're going to have the regular season. I know we're going to have the preseason coming on in the summer, so that's going to be great. Anyway, so we had the schedule that came out Thursday, and I'm going to talk about all the teams' schedule. So we have the first week, we have Arizona's week. They have the Chiefs. Then in their second week, they have the Raiders. Third week, they have the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Rams. The fourth week, they have the Cardinals. Fifth week, Philly, who, in my opinion, I'm not saying that they're Super Bowl contenders, but they had a really good draft. And especially now you have Jalen Hurts, you have a young head coach in Nick Sirianni, who's had that experience of being a NFL head coach now. This is in his second year. And now you have weapons around Jalen Hurts. You have a linebacker in Nakobe Dean. You have a wide receiver in A.J. Brown. So you have a lot of weapons around, and this Philadelphia team should be in the championships and going for the Super Bowl this season. But anyway, so in week 5, Arizona have Philly. Then we go to week 18, the final week they have the 49ers. But will they have a mid-season collapse like they had the last couple of seasons, or will they actually make it to a championship game? Who knows? Then we have Atlanta, who is, this is the first time in about 14, 15 years that they've had a new quarterback, and this is Desmond Ridder. This is going to be, how is he going to be in Atlanta? Is he going to work out? We don't know, but the first game he's going to have is against the New Orleans Saints, who really themselves need a quarterback. They have Jameis Winston, who again had that knee injury last season. He signed a new 2-year deal in the offseason for $21 million. But I think really in the draft, I know the draft class wasn't that great for quarterbacks, but you should have got a quarterback in this draft. But going on with their games, they have the Saints, like I said, in week 1. Week 2, they're at the reigning defending Super Bowl champion, the Rams. Then they have the Seahawks, so they have 2 on the road games against the Rams and the Seahawks. Then we have the Browns, then they're at the Buccaneers, then they're 49ers, then we go into the final week, and they're they have the Bucs in the final week of week 18. Then we have the Ravens, who have the Jets, then they have Miami, the Jets, who had a good draft. In my opinion, they're going to have to see how Sauce Gardner is going to be, and other people like that, how they're going to gel that team, but again, Baltimore had a good draft. They had David Ajobi get drafted, which I'm excited to see him. How he's going to fit in with the setup of the Ravens. But anyway, then they have the Patriots at week 3. They have the Bengals at week 5, which is a Sunday night game. Then at the end of week 18, they have the Bengals, going on from the Carolina Panthers, who again still have Sam Darnold as the quarterback. They have the Browns in the first week. Then we go to week 18. They have the New Orleans Saints. Then we go to Bears football. That is right. The Bears opening week. They have the 49ers, and this is going to be the season. We're going to find out in season 2, how is Justin Fields going to be? Is he going to be that dude for Chicago in season 2? Now, I looked at the Chicago draft, and it was mid. They needed people. They should have got people around. They should have got a linebacker in this offseason. You've got rid of Khalil Mack and Allen Robinson, but you want to go defensive. I know that you have a defensive coach, which makes sense, but you want to have people you need people around Justin Fields to protect Justin Fields, so he's not getting sacked, exposed like he was tremendously last season. You want to avenge that loss. You have quarterback potential. You could have a quarterback here in Justin Fields that could be the dude, but you're not sure if he's the dude or not, because he's got a lot of shit around him. And again, he didn't help himself. But anyway, then the Bears in the second week, they have a divisional rival in Green Bay for the NFC North. Then in the final week, they have the Vikings in a divisional game in week 18, going to the Browns the Bengals. The Bengals, they have the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1, who have Kenny Pickett as a quarterback, and they're on the road to the Cowboys in week 2, on the road to the Jets in week 3. Going on to, they have a Thursday night game on week 4. And then on the last week they had the Ravens. Then the skid marks of the NFL. The Ravens, they have the Cardinals, not the Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers on week 1. Then they have the Jets, Pittsburgh on week 3 on Thursday night. Then we go on to Pittsburgh on week 18 for the Cleveland Browns under Deshaun Watson. The Cowboys have the Buccaneers. Now this was a rematch from last season when we had Brady, the Buccaneers, who was at the time the reigning Super Bowl champions, against Dak Prescott, who missed majority of the season in 2020. Comes back to have a full season in 2021. Sorry, guys. They actually choke in the playoffs, but again, a rematch from the opening game of last season, and that's on a Sunday night. I think last season was on a Thursday night. So anyway, then we go, and then they have the Commanders. Carson Wentz reporting for duty. Yeah, they have the Commanders on week 18. Then Denver, they've got Seattle. So that's going to be an interesting game. Russell Wilson going back to Seattle after spending over a decade in Seattle. Drew Lock versus Russell Wilson. The Seahawks, they need a really big rebuild, and they still have Pete Carroll at the helm, and how great he did with that draft. But yeah, they have Denver have them, and then they have the Texans. Lovie Smith is back as a coach in the NFL. Then when they had the 49ers in week 3, then we go back here to the Chargers. A couple of other teams I'm going to talk about here. They have Detroit, who again in this draft needed a quarterback, didn't address the quarterback position. They have Philly on the opening week of the season. Then on the last week they have a divisional rival in Green Bay. Green Bay. Then Green Bay, they gave Aaron Rodgers that big deal in the offseason, but let go of Devontae Adams. And then you didn't, you know what I mean? You had, you had a wide receiver, but you waited 3rd or 4th round in the draft to get a wide receiver. But anyway, they have the Vikings in the opening week of the season. Then, like I said, Detroit at Green Bay, so another divisional rival. Texans, Lovie Smith has his first game as a Texans head coach in against the Colts. Then they have the Jags versus the Washington Commanders. How is Trevor Lawrence going to be season 2? Because I look at season 1 and he was trash last season. Season 2, again, the Jags do ball football once again. Fucked up the draft. They're going to be in the same position as they were last season, and they're going to have the number 1 overall pick because again, the Jags are a dumpster fire of an organization, and what can you expect? But anyway, they have the Commanders, and then they finish off with Tennessee. Then the Chiefs have Cardinals, and then they have the Raiders at the end of the season. Then the Chargers have the Raiders and Seattle at the end of the season, and then we're going on to I said about the Chargers. Then we have the Rams. They have a big primetime game against Buffalo. Josh Allen versus Matthew Stafford. And then we have, again, the season is going to be week 18 is going to be Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes versus Stafford. Last game of the season. And then Raiders are going to open their game with the Chargers, like I said. Last game for them is the Jets. Vikings have a divisional game against Green Bay. And then they finished the season against Josh Allen and the Bills. Obviously, Minnesota have Kevin O'Donnell as their head coach. They're moving away from the shit show they've had for the last couple of seasons with Mike Zimmer, and I'm going to be interested in that. See how Kevin O'Donnell's going to be under as his first head coach role in the NFL, because he's come from that Sean McVay learning tree, a lot of high expectations. So that's going to be very interesting with that. Then the Patriots have Miami, a divisional rival, and they finished the season against the Bills. And then we have New Orleans Saints. They have, like I said, Atlanta, and then they have the Cardinals. Giants have Tennessee, then finish with Philly. Then the Jets have Ravens, and then they finish with Miami. Then Philly have Detroit. Then the Giants on the last game of the season. Steelers have Pittsburgh. Steelers have Bengals, and then the last game they have the skid marks, the Browns. Then Seattle have Denver, and then to finish off with the Rams. Then the 49ers have Bears football. And on the last game they have the Cardinals, the Buccaneers, Dallas, and then the Cardinals for them. Atlanta. Then Tennessee have the Giants, and then the Jaguars in the last game, and then Commanders have the Jags, and the last game for them is Dallas. So leave you guys thoughts on the schedule. I'm going to put this graph up as my thumbnail. So leave you guys thoughts on that in the comments. Peace.